So we already spoke about the fact that during the period of Speros Omer, we are what is called in a period of, let's call it in English, immaturity, katnus. Katnus, you're in a period of katnus. This is
religious immaturity.
Mochin the kat.
Mochin the katnus, correct. Mochin the katnus, religious immaturity, and it's not a good time for Am Yisrael. Even though the Ramban says that the period between Pesach and Shavuos can be compared to Chol HaMoed, just like you have on Pesach and Shavuos, one day Yom Tov at the beginning, one day Yom Tov at the end. The foot starts just 2 days. Okay, it doesn't matter. You have Chol HaMoed in between. So here we also have an expanded Chol HaMoed. It's not 7 days, it's 7 weeks. Pesach at the beginning and Shavuos at the end. So that should be a good time. Chol HaMoed is Yom Tov. It's Yom Tov. Well, unfortunately, you may want this. You want this? Shmuel, you want this?
If so, why do we say that?
Huh?
If so, why do we say that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Sure.
So obviously,
Does someone put them on audience? Thanks.
it's
Every generation is, we have a good time. Every single generation.
this is going on for a long time, way before the Talmid of Rabbi Akiva were nifter. It's not a good time. When you have katnus, it's not good. When a person is a katan and he's growing, we have such a phrase in English called growing pains. Growing up can be difficult. There are a lot of things in life that a person has to go through. Finally, he gets older and he looks back. I went through plenty. Now I have a lot more mature understanding of what life is all about. After going through all those hurdles that I passed over, now I can, have a grasp on things. Like I can relate to it like I'm supposed to. So now you're a gadol. Now you're mature. But while you're growing up, there are a lot of difficulties in life. You don't know how to handle it. You don't know what to do with it. That's what the period of between Pesach and Shavuos is, a period of katnus, a period of growth. And there are growing pains. And it's what we call in the Kabbalah, it's expressed by a shame. You have to understand, Hashem, God, never changes. The Navi says, Ani Hashem lo shanisi. I never change. God is a constant. If he changes, then he's not God. God is the epitome of perfection. There's nothing to change. Something is perfect doesn't change. Something that's perfect doesn't change. What can change is the way that God manifests himself. That can change. And therefore we have all these different shemos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, each shem representing a different way that Hashem manifests himself to the world. The highest and the most popular shem is Yud Hey Vav Hey, which is the shem of Rachamim, call it Ahava. That is the greatest name that we're always looking for that. We say Baruch Atah Hashem, every bracha we make, we use the shem Yud Kei Vav Kei. Baruch Atah Hashem. The shem Elokim, Aleph Lamed Hey Yud Mem, is a name which represents Hashem's manifestation of the midah of din to the world. The world, meaning din, means that everything has certain rules and regulations, and that's the way it works. It's the same gematria, Elokim 86, as the word Hateva. Hateva is also 86. The word's nature is run by rules and regulations. That's midas hadin. You have to follow the rules and regulations. And that's the way the Torah starts. Bereshis bara Elohim, Eis HaShamayim ve'Eis HaAretz. The midah of din is what created the world. All of the things that are going on all over the world are something which is mind-boggling. You have to understand, we're so short-sighted. What's going on every second in the entire universe, there are trillions and, without exaggeration, trillions and trillions of stars. And there are maybe thousands of galaxies, I don't know. We have a galaxy called the Milky Way galaxy that which we're in, and this galaxy itself has millions of stars. And can you imagine how all these billions of stars exist and all the other trillions which going on, and everything is running around and nothing's static. Everything is moving. How is it that nothing crashes into anything else?
Sometimes it does, Rabbi.
Yeah, but it's, nothing that amounts to...
Being that there are galaxies.
There have been, there are things like that, but the world exists. The world is functioning. How is it that the world doesn't destroy itself? This is...
It's trying.
This is the teva. This is the laws that God put into operation, which keeps the world going. This is a teva. So we have the Shem Elokim, Aleph Lamed Hey Yud Ben, which governs this period as well. Elokim. So of course it's not the midah of Rachamim that we had the first day of Pesach. That's why when things happen which are miraculous, we say it's l'mayla min hateva. It's above nature. It's above nature. It means what? It goes over the Shem Elokim and it becomes another Shem, Yud Hey Vav Hey, which is the Shem which is not, it's Haya, Hova, V'yiyeh, with its past, present, and future. All the same time doesn't exist there. Has nothing to do with the laws of nature. It functions on a different level altogether. Okay. So the period that we're in now, says the Arizal, is governed by the Shem Elokim, but there are two sections to this period. There's the first section until Lag BaOmer, and then you have from Lag BaOmer till Shavuos. The first section until Lag BaOmer are 32 days, and Lag BaOmer, Lamed Gimel, is the 33rd day, and from the 33rd day until Shavuos, how many days more are left? 17. From 33 to 49, right, is 17. 17 is the gematria of Tov. Tov. And it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Maybe it was the Bnei Yisachar who figured this out, who noticed this. If you'll count the number of words from Bereshis until the first time the word Tov appears in Bereshis, it's exactly 32 words. 32. Vayar Hashem esachor ki tov. Hashem created light, and He said, "Oh, the light is good." That's the 33rd word. The word Tov is the 33rd word in the Torah from Bereshis on, which is a siman already, way before Lag BaOmer became into existence. That number 33 is the beginning of a new era, a time of goodness, of Tov. Yeah.
And Tov is 17.
Yeah.
Which is the number of days. From Lag BaOmer until.
That's right. That's correct. That's correct. So therefore, many people hold that the Avelis is over. Lag BaOmer, it's all finished. After Lag BaOmer, you can take haircuts, you can have a simcha, you have chassidus music. Everything is okay after Lag BaOmer. It's a period of choshech, past, it's gone. Now we have Tov. All right, that's a question which is discussed. It's given to discussion. That's so simple. All right, so we have the Shem Elokim, which is the name of Midas Hadin, and that is the general Shem which manifests itself during this period from Pesach until Shavuos. So what happens on Lag BaOmer with the Shem Elokim? What happens? Is there any change? If there's a change in the world,
They stop dying.
yeah, but how is it expressed in the Shemos? Is there any change in the Shemos? So the Arizal tells us, very interesting. It's not only interesting, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'm going to wait till the flight passes. Right. So the Arizal says, let's take the word Elokim. Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem.
86.
Huh?
86.
86. The principle, the main body of the Midah of Din is going to have a Hamtaka. It's going to have a sweetening. It's going to be less Midas Hadin. It'll be more sweeter. How do we go from something, a state of Din, to Hamtakat Hadin, the sweetening of the Din? Well, if you take the three letters in the middle of the Shem Elokim, Lamed, Hey, Yud, you have Aleph at the beginning, Mem at the end. In the middle, you have Lamed, Hey, Yud. Let's go one letter closer to the beginning, to Aleph base. So the Lamed will become a Kaf. The Hey will become a Dalit. And the Yud will become a Tes. So instead of Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem, you have Aleph, Kaf, Dalit, Tes, Mem. To read it, pronounce it Akaditam. Whatever, okay, Akaditam. That is the Shem, says the Arizal, which now describes the second period from Lag BaOmer on. The second period of Lag BaOmer is a time of Din. Still Din is there because the Aleph and the Mem, the beginning and end, stayed there. But now we have to represent it with a sweetening. So the main body of the Shem Elokim changes to one letter higher. The Kaf Dalet Tes is instead of Lamed Hey Yud. Okay, fine. So cut the top. That's as far as Hashem is concerned, the world is concerned. But what about us? This is where we come in. We are talking about kavanot. This shir is officially the kavanos of tefillah from the Baal Shem Tov. So what about our kavanos? How do we contribute to sweetening the din? We're always trying to sweeten the din. That's our job. Sweeten the din. How do we go about doing that? Okay, so here's what you have to write. You can begin to write. First of all, you have to write this down. Shach, Shin, Chof, and then write down Pei Resh. Shin, Chof, and Pei Resh. Two different words. Shach, Shin, Chof equals 320. Shin, Chof is 320.
Shin Pro.
Shin, Chof. Shin, Chof is 320.
Oh, okay.
Kuf, a kuf.
Cool.
Not a kuf, no. Chaf.
Yes, okay.
That was 12.
Par is 280. Peresh, 280. This is two sets of dinim which we have their power to sweeten. How did we get to these names altogether? Where did we get this from? The 320 and the 200, where did we get that from? So the Shem Elokim has 5 letters, correct? 5 letters. 5 letters which indicate the midah of din, right? 5 letters, the Shem Elokim, which midah. What is the gematria of din? What is the gematria of din? Din is Daled Yud Nun. How much is that? Daled Yud Nun. A Nun is 50, a Yud is 60, and the Daled is 4. 64 times 5 is, how much is 64 times 5?
320.
It's 320. That's where you got it from. The Shach Dinim are 64 times 5. 5 because there are 5 letters of Elokim, and they just divide them up into, each one is 64 times 5, that you get to 320. Okay, so we want to sweeten that din. All right, we'll see how to do that in a minute. Now you have the par. Where do you get the par from? 280. The par comes from, there are 5 letters in the Torah which have doubles. Every letter has only one letter. An Aleph has 1 letter. A Gimel has 1 letter. A Dalet has 1 letter. There are 5 letters which have doubles, meaning a beginning or middle and end. For instance, a mem. A mem has a beginning mem and it has an end mem. But nun, it's called man separ. Mansapach. Mem, Nun, Tzadi, Pei, Chaf. Those all have beginning or middle and end letters. The end letter is the fact that something ends something. That's a limiting force. It's a limiting force. That limiting force indicates the midah of din. You cannot go further. The word ended, that's it. The mem ends the word. Like the word Mitzrayim. Did you ever think about that for a minute? Mitzrayim has a beginning mem and an end mem. The end mem is like a square. It's closed. Why is that so? It indicates, no. Oh, exactly. Anyone who wanted to come into Mitzrayim in Paro's time in the Torah, come in. We welcome you. But once you're in, you can't go out. You can't go out. You're limited. Blocked. Nobody can go out. How did they do that? Through kochos of tumah, through kishuv. They had a spell that cast on, nobody could leave. That's why they were stuck there for 210 years. The Jews, they wanted to leave, they couldn't. There was a koach that kept them in Mitzrayim because the mem indicates, and that's the name of Mitzrayim. We know that in Lashon HaKodesh, the Lashon HaKodesh is not like just any other language. Lashon HaKodesh especially, the letters themselves indicate an essence of truth. And that was what Mitzrayim was. That was the truth. That was the way Mitzrayim worked. Why was given that name? Probably because that was probably one of the reasons that Mitzrayim was given that name, because you could not leave Mitzrayim in those days. All right, anyway, wait a minute. So Mansapach is another 5 letters. How much does Mansapach come out to? Add it up. How much does Mansapach come out to? Mem, Nun, Sadi, Pei, Chaf. You'll see it comes out exactly to 280. The Pei Resh. It's 280. So that is another set of dinim which we have the ability to sweeten. We could sweeten the shach dinim and we sweeten the par dinim. How do we go about doing that? And here,
Shach.
shach dinim
And
and par dinim. And here's everybody could do this. You could do it too. You could also do it. I'll tell you how. Just write it down, but write it down.
I can't remember.
Why can't
You
you?
need a whiteboard so you can put it on the board. Then I can copy.
Uh,
So I'll talk to the right book.
right. But try to do it. Can you, Chanoch, can you write Hebrew letters?
I could write them, but I can't write it the way you're explaining it.
No, just can you write the letters themselves?
Yeah.
You could. So write it down. Well, I'll tell you how to do it. Very simple. Write down the word Hayom. Hey, Yud, Vav, Mem.
Hayom.
Hayom.
Yeah, Hayom, Ken.
Hayom. Hayom. Hey, Yud, Vav, Mem. That equals, how much is Hayom? How much does it come out to?
61.
Hayom is 60.
71.
No. Mem is 40. Mem is 30.
40.
The Yud is 50.
50.
Then you have 6, Vav, Hey,
61.
61. Plus the 4 letters themselves is 65. 50, 65. Now write down the word, no, 1 second, no, 50 or 50, 60, 61, 61. And the word itself, the other 4 letters, the middle is 65. 65, what is 65? What else do you know at 65?
Many years ago.
65 is the Shem Adonai. Adonai is 65. It's the midah of din. Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud is 65 exactly.
Aleph, Dalet?
Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud. 65. So the word Hayom represents din. When you're counting Sphira, you're saying Hayom. Today is such and such a number. Today we just counted 19. Hayom.
Why I don't din?
You understand it? Adon means Lord, a Lord. Lord is master. Master, that's the meaning of din.
Yeah,
It has the word din inside it.
yes. So both Adon and Elohim is in.
But both, yeah, both din. But they have different shades to it, but they both din. So the word hayom is a word which represents din. We want to sweeten that din. How do you sweeten the din? With your kavanah. With your kavanah. What kavanah should you have? Write down in parentheses, instead of, when you say the word hayom, think of these two words. Aleph Lamed. Aleph Lamed. And then Yud Kei Vav Kei. Aleph Lamed and Yud Kei Vav Kei.
But Aleph Lamed is din.
No, it's Chesed. Chesed. Keil Hashem. Keil Rachum Mechana. Aleph Lamed is 31. And then Yud Hey Vav Hey is 26.
61. No.
57. 57. 57. 57 is the gematria of the word zon. Hazon es holam kulo b'tuvo. B'chein b'chesed v'rachim. When you say the word hayom every single night, think of El Hashem. Those two words that you just wrote down. Those two make up a sweetener. I want with these two words, with my kavanah, to sweeten the word hayom. Hayom represents din. 65 is Adoni, is din. I want to sweeten the din in the world for all the soldiers who are out there, for everyone who's suffering, up north, down south, everyone who's suffering. I want to sweeten the din for everybody. And therefore I think of Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem, Hey, Yud, Vav, Mem, El Hashem. And don't think that it's nothing with nothing. We have to realize they're all over the world, people who have this kavanah. And all of Klal Yisrael's machshavos are connected to the upper worlds, to Hashem. This has an effect. It has an effect. It's just a simple thought of a Jew with his neshama has an effect on sweetening the din for Am Yisrael, for all over, for the soldiers who are suffering down there. Just Friday, we lost 5 soldiers. Religious soldiers we lost. The NACHLAOT died Friday. Okay, that's one. Hayom. Yeah.
Could you give an example of an effect?
You don't know it. You don't see it. It's something that's going to happen, and the effect happens in the world. It could be someplace in Honolulu that some Jew is going to have some benefit from it because of what you said. Who knows? We don't know where it's going to have effect. How can we know? Can't know.
This happens also for each.
Huh?
It happens also for each prayer.
All right, but in Speros Omer we have to put extra emphasis on sweetening the din because the whole tkufa is a difficult tkufa. We're in growing pains. All right. That's one place. I mean, you say the word Omer. How much is Omer? Let's figure it out. Ayin, Vav, Mem, Reish. How much does it come out to? Ayin, Vav, Mem, Reish. Add it up.
316.
316, right. 316. 316 plus the 4 letters themselves, Ayin, Vav, Mem, Reish, is 320.
So,
that's the Shach.
the letter of the Ten Commandments.
But do I have 320 letters? Yeah? No, it could be. I didn't know that. Very good. Very good.
No,
No,
it's 620.
620.
620.
Oh.
I involve
So when you say the word Ayin, Vav, Mem, Reish, you have to have kavanah. I want to, with the word Omer, with my counting, I want to sweeten the 320. Dinim, the Shach. These are 2 easy things. Every single night when you count Speros Omer, I want to tell you something else. You know, there was some Rabbanim who count the Sphira a few times a day. A few times a day. Which Some hold, when it says in the Torah, Sheva Shabbosos Tamimos Tiena, you have to have 7 complete weeks. What does it mean, complete weeks? Sheva Shabbosos Tamimos. What does it mean, Sheva Shabbosos Tamimos? So he says, Tamimos means, one opinion of Tamimos is that you have to count Sfira at the beginning of the night. So you start counting your Sfira already right after Ma'ariv. Really, you should count as soon as Seisei Kochavim comes. You shouldn't daven Ma'ariv first, because Hashem Shabbos is Tamimos, and it's Tamimos means you have to start at the beginning of that day. The beginning of the day is Seisei Kochavim. So why do you daven Ma'ariv first? The answer is because Ma'ariv has Kriya Shema. Kriya Shema is a Doraisa, and Speros Omer Bizman Hazeh is Midrash, according to most opinions. So the Doraisa comes first, and therefore we say Kriya Shema Ma'ariv before we do Speros Omer. But if you happen to have the daven in a later minyan, you shouldn't wait till after the minyan to daven Speros Omer. As soon as Seisei Kochavim comes, you count Sfira right away. Sheva Shabbos Tamimos. So you have to start at the beginning, a full day, start at the beginning of the day. So you count it at the beginning. But some hold, a day has 24 hours. Has night and has day to it also. So if I counted only at night, it's not complete unless I count by day too.
In our shul down in Milano, we used to say after davening Shabbos.
Oh, I also do it every morning. Me and the Gabbai and where I daven, we say it every morning after Shabbos to make it sure it's 3 months by day and by night.
Or for people who forgot the evening.
That's right. It helps that for that also. But there are some Rabbanim who wanted to mimamritik the din. The more you say it, the more you have the kavanah, the more you have hamtokas adin. Say it again. Hayom tisha asrei yom she'em arba shvu'ayim ve'chamisha yomim la'omer. You say it a few times a day. Every time you say it, you are accomplishing a hamtakas adin. Every time you say it. So some people, there are some Rabbanim who said it a few times a day. Not only say it once, night, one by day, say it a few times to make hamtakas adin. They took it very, very seriously, and obviously they knew what they're doing. So that's what you're doing when you do the hamtakas adin. Every time you say that, say here chanoch, you don't have to understand Lashon HaKodesh. All you have to do is say the words and think. That's all. Say the words and think. You say the word Hayom, take a look at the Siddur, Hayom, and you think Hayom, El Hashem. El Hashem is 2 shemos of Rachamim, of Chesed, that sweetens the din which is indicated by the word Hayom. And then when you say the word Omer, you have in mind to sweeten the din, the 320. 320. That's all. Very simple. Very simple. And you do your big favor to Am Yisrael, wherever they are, there's going to be a sweetening of din in some way. Okay. So that's that. What else do we have now? What time is it? Let's see. Oh, okay, we have time. All right, now I want to talk about something which is along the same lines. It's very, very interesting. We know that people do not take haircuts during Speros Omer. So the popular reason is because of availance. A person who is an oval doesn't take a haircut for a mishpacha for 30 days, and for a father or mother, it can even go longer until people, say, "Oh, it's time to take a haircut already." All right, you don't take a haircut. But a very good question: what happened before Rabbi Akiva's Talmidim were nifta? Was there such a thing as not taking a haircut? Was there any availus? Were you supposed to take a haircut during those times? The answer is, of course, you're supposed to not take a haircut. It's just an added reason. It's not only because of Rabbi Akiva's Talmidim that we don't take haircuts. Not only that. There's a period here of refraining from taking a haircut, and we'll explain why, because right away we'll talk about it. I got to tell you this. This is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I heard this from Rav Osher Weiss, Shlita. It's a beautiful thing. Rav Osher Weiss was, I think he married into the family of the Tzanzer. He was a Talmud of the Tzanzer Rebbe in Netanya. And there's a long line of Rebbeim from sons. And the famous one, the biggest one, the famous one way back a few hundred years ago was the Divrei Chaim, Rabbi Chaim Mitzans. He's very famous. So one of his children or grandchildren was sitting one day with his son, and he's crying. So the father is crying, and the son is looking at the father, and he says, "Father, why are you crying?" So he said, "Because I saw the Divrei Chaim. I saw the sons of Rebbe. But I didn't see him, so I should be crying. You saw him, and you're crying. So I didn't see him at all." So he says, "Because you didn't see him, you don't have to cry. I saw him, and I'm looking at myself. This is what you are after you saw the sons of Rebbe. That's why I'm crying, because I'm nowhere near where I should be. After seeing that, I'm nowhere near where I should be." Why do you tell that story? Tell that story because of the following. He says, Rabbi Akiva, he was amazing. I can't even imagine Rabbi Akiva. I can't imagine such a person. Imagine he was an Am Ha'aretz Gomor. He didn't know how to read Chanoch. He didn't know how to read. And he married a girl from a very wealthy family. And because he was such an Am Ha'aretz, such an ignoramus,
She was disinherited.
her father said, "Finished, that's it." But she saw in him potential, and she married him anyway. And she was cut off. No money. Pure poverty. We don't even know what kind of poverty they had. Mamish, maximum poverty. And she said to her husband, "Go away to the yeshiva and learn. I don't want you to be home bothering with me, taking care of me. Hashem will help. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. You go and learn." He went to learn for 12 years. In those 12 years, I can't imagine how he can become, and he's not a youngster. He's already a married man, and he's starting as an adult, starting from scratch. He comes back with 12,000 Talmidim after 12 years. And he hears, before he gets into the house, he hears his wife talking to a neighbor. "If he would ask me, my husband, I will tell him to learn for another 12 years. I can't imagine such a thing. After being 12 years away from your wife, he turned around and walked back to yeshiva. Didn't go in to say hello. Can you imagine such a thing? It's unbelievable. The person is, I don't know what to say about such a person. A Malach Elokim. And she is maskim. And he came back with 24,000 Talmidim after the next 12 years.
What about Chinuch Banim?
I don't know. I don't know. You know the answer. They had children, didn't have children. I don't know. You know, we can't even imagine what that is. You take the biggest yeshivas there are today, take Mir Yeshiva, take Lakewood Yeshiva, put them all together. Nobody has 24,000 Talmidim. 24,000 Talmidim. And Rabbi Akiva, he is the professor. I don't know when he said it, but I'm sure he lived it the entire time. And his Talmidim were all there. And they're hearing this from him probably time and time again, because this is his klal that he gave off to Klal Yisrael. So Rav Asher Weiss said, can you imagine 24,000 Talmidim to die in such a short period of time? How could that be? Do you know what kind of a chil Hashem that is? And everybody knew this is a Talmid of Rabbi Akiva. How could it be such a thing? So he said, this is why I told you the story of the Tzan Zerov. He saw the Tzan Rebbe and he was crying because of what he knows he is. Nowhere near the Divrei Chaim, the Tzan Rebbe, he says. His Talmidim, they saw Rabbi Akiva. And they could act the way they did. Lo nogu kavod zeh b'zeh. When I feel Hashem that makes, and therefore, even though they didn't do anything which was clearly an Avera, they didn't yell at each other, they didn't talk Lashon Hara, they didn't have enough respect. They were lax in the amount of respect that they had to give to each other. Lax.
Ashemim Mavet?
Huh?
Ashemim Mavet?
Oh, so I'm saying, Kodesh Baruch Hu bedaktik b'tzadikim k'chut hasayra. These are Talmidim Rabbi Akiva. They knew better. And it made an impression all over the world. And therefore, we are ad hayom, from thousands of years, everyone learns from that. Everybody in Klal Yisrael learns from that. It's not a question that Rabbi Yaakov Meir says, Yechayev Misa, because she didn't give enough respect to somebody. What, did I slap him? What did I kill him? I didn't do anything. I was respectful. That's Chayev Misa. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't look at it that way. That's for Bezdin. Bezdin has to have an exact reason why in Chayev Misa, not Chayev. In Hashemayim, they have different cheshbainis. Different cheshbainis. You saw Rabbi Akiva, and this is the way you behave, this is the way you act. Look what the effect on the entire world is. Somebody asked me, the other day, they asked me, we just learned Pashas Kedoshim. Is there a mitzvah d'oraisa to be from the Taryag mitzvahs of Kedoshim to you? Is such a mitzvah? I said to him, can't be. Can't be such a mitzvah. There's no such thing as mitzvah Kedoshim. A mitzvah to be Kadosh there is, but from the Taryag official mitzvahs, can't be. I said, why not? Because it's too general. It's everything about a Jew. Everything he does, he has to be a Kadosh. How could there have a mitzvah d'oraisa? I mean, you have to have something more specific.
But there are some specific reference to Kedushim to you. Antishaketsu.
But those are pratim, but that's not the mitzvah. That's not the mitzvah. Where is there a mitzvah of kedusha? There's a mitzvah of kedoshim to die on Kiddush Hashem. V'nikdashti b'toch b'nei Yisrael. It's not even written in the form of that. That's a mitzvah d'oraisa. To die for Kiddush Hashem, that's one of the Taryag mitzvahs, and not to make a chil Hashem, the laws of Hashem, also a mitzvah d'oraisa. Not to make a chil Hashem is a mitzvah d'oraisa. So the Talmidi of Rabbi Akiva, in their manner of respect, they didn't do anything outwardly that you could see deserving of Misa. But the effect was, this is not the way Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva should behave. They're supposed to be an example for the rest of Klal Yisrael. And the example that they were showing was a negative example. It was lo, no, covered zebazeh. Therefore, in Hashemayim, they took them away. And all in a short period of time. Terrible, terrible thing. But it seems that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he knows what he's doing. All of Klal Yisrael from that point on has been learning, millions and millions and millions of Jews over the generations who learned that lesson. I imagine it was worth it. Otherwise Hashem wouldn't do it. He only does certain things which are important and which necessary. He knows exactly what he's doing. But we have to learn from it, certainly anyway. Especially during this time. We have to be extremely, extremely careful during Speros Omer to be extra mesabed one another. Go out of your way to give somebody else a little bit more cover, a little bit more attention, to smile to somebody, to be warm to somebody. Extremely, extremely important. That is one of the big lessons that we have to take out of this learning. And we had 24,000 people who died because of that. We have to take it and learn it and apply it and use it. Okay. So that is the union of the Midah of Din. So we're saying this Midah of Din is a very dangerous thing, and therefore, during this period also, it's suggested that people do not take chances which can be avoided, which could be dangerous. For instance, there's one gentleman, one of my other Talmidim in another shir, he told me he's going down south with his family. Last week it was going down south. I said, it bothered me. You're going down south. There were soldiers who are out on the battlefield. They're dying, and you're going down south. I said to him, Mustami, you're doing it for your health. He needs it for his health. So he says, yes, Rabbi, I'm doing it for my health. I'm going with my family for a week. We have to go down south to relax, to do some exercise. Okay, no. Well, I'm doing it for his health. But normally, during this period of time, Speros Omer, it's a period of din, person should be careful not to take chances, not to do things which are unnecessary.
So we shouldn't go to Rafa now, but after.
The army, they ask Shilas, the army, what to do. That's the problem. That's the problem. The ones who run the army, there's no Rabbanim. They don't have they should have a cabinet of Rabbanim who are advising them on what's proper, what's not proper. But they don't have. What can you do? That's the problem. But
So you would say to wait after.
I can't answer.
No, I mean, I'm not asking
No,
a military idea, but.
Well, you're right. You're right. It's not a good time. It's not a good time. Not a good time. Okay.
When I see that two youngsters of 18 years, they just started 18 years.
And they're gone. Yeah. I was reading one of the reports. A mother was writing about her son. What a tzaddik he was. A mother was writing about her son that he went down, he was in the army, and she found things in his drawer after he was nifter. Such what he wrote there, such things, such tzidkis. A young boy, a tzaddik, a tamim. Shem Yirachem, there should be a kapara for Am Yisrael. Okay, anyway. So we're talking about the period of din. Okay, yeah, now. All right. There's something else was very important there is we're talking about the cutting of the hair. So we're saying the cutting of the hair is not only because of Avelis. It was something which was supposed to be refrained from even before Rabbi Kippur's Talmidim. The question is, what is it in the hair? Why do we refrain from cutting the hair? Okay. So this is a very important, but it's a very sensitive area. It doesn't apply only to men, it applies to men and to women as well. Women also aren't supposed to take haircuts during this time, but especially women who have a very big inyan with the hair. So we'll talk about in general. I don't know if we'll finish it today, but let's start. What is the hair? What does the hair represent? So the Arizal tells us, it comes from the Zohar, that the hair represents the midah of din. Why is the hair represent the midah of din? Because it's the body eliminating, let's call it, waste material. The body has inner energies inside, and they are expelled from the body. They can either go up or they go down. When they go up, that means that it's like a reversal, going back up, and goes through the hair, and those are waste materials. And when they go into the hair, there are kochos of tumah that attach themselves to the hair. So the hair represent the midah of din. It's not only the hair, it's all the fringes of the body. A person goes to sleep at night. While he's awake, his mind and his heart are functioning. These are the main energy centers in a person's body. His mind and his heart. The mind and the heart, energy centers, they have a lot of kedusha. Now, when a person goes to sleep, his heart slows down, and his mind becomes unconscious. So there is a weakening in the amount of kedusha. So what happens when there's a weakening amount of kedusha? That's not left a blank. That space is taken up by a koch of tumah. So when a person goes to sleep at night, a ruach of tumah overcomes the person, and he is now tummy. Therefore, when you wake up in the morning, you wash your hands. So the question is, wash my hands, but the tumah was on the entire body. Tumah is on the entire body, not only on my hands. The answer is, the kedusha in the body is so powerful that the tumah runs away. It cannot stay in the middle of the body when a person is awake, because there's too much kedusha there, so it chases away the tumah. Where does the tumah coagulate? Where does it attach itself? At the fringes. It attaches itself at the fringes where the kedusha is weakest, but there's a little bit of kedusha there. That's when the tumah comes and attaches itself to a person's fingertips and to the nails. Therefore, it's very, very important to keep one's nails short. That applies to men and to women as well. And this is a problem. Many women have long nails and they file them down and manage them, but they're longer than the skin. And they're attracting tumah. They don't realize they're attracting tumah.
Why not at the feet?
Oh, the Ben Ish Chai asks, what about the tumah on the feet? That's also the fringes of the body. What does it help to wash the hands? What about over the feet? You know what he answers? He says the tumah over there is so strong that washing the feet won't help.
The Arabs, they do wash the feet
Yeah?
when they pray,
Okay.
before praying.
What about they do? So we got a problem. Most people wake up in the morning, religious people, they wash their hands, they make a bracha al tilas yadayim, but the feet, who washes the feet? How do you get rid of the tumor which is attached to your feet?
Fungus?
What's the answer?
Good.
Come on, tell me the answer. What's the only way? Washing won't help. It's not strong enough.
Go to shul.
Somebody else suggested that also. That's not strong enough either. The only way to get rid of that tumor is by a mikveh.
A mikveh.
A mikveh, or in a river, in the ocean, a kosher mikveh. That can take off the tumor from the feet too. But otherwise, according to the Ben Ish Chai, most people are walking around with a certain degree of tumah, and it's attached to them, and they can't get rid of it. And this could help to explain.
But Rabbi, excuse me. Tumah is something spiritual.
No.
The Tilas Yadayim come from
It's also spiritual.
high.
It's also spiritual.
Physical?
It's also spiritual. Why should I wash my hands this way or that way? That makes a difference. This is things that we don't understand. We tell this is a given. This is the way you do it. We got this Besorah, door after door, from Kabbalah Satira on. This is the way you do it. Take off the tumah from your hands.
In the Bet HaMikdash, didn't they wash their feet?
Kohanim had to wash their feet. Kohanim had to wash.
It did clean up.
But maybe it's a different kind of a tumah. I don't know. Maybe it's a different kind of a tumah. But that's even when they were awake, they had to wash their feet. There was yeah, they washed their feet. Different thing. I don't know. But anyway, okay. So cutting the hair is very, very important.
But I had once a lesson, the difference of the hair of a man and the hair of a woman. There is an intrinsic difference. I don't remember anymore.
It's very poshut. I mean, I don't know what you heard, but I could tell you very simple.
Did you ever know David Menashe? He was wearing white in the Iratika.
It could be.
He used to make
could be.
Shabbos afternoon in his terrace. Soldat Shilishit, with all volume.
Could be that I met him.
He gave me the lesson, but I don't remember.
I could say very simply, without knowing what he said, I don't know if it agrees or not, doesn't agree with what he said. I'll say very simple. If you have a comparison between a man and a woman, now don't tell this to women, they'll get insulted. Comparison.
Rabbi is on film.
All right, but it's Torah. It's Torah. I have to say the truth. I mean, it's not really insulting, but a woman might feel that it's sort of like she's sort of second place. You have male and female. You have Zachar and Nekeva. You have Adam and Chava. If I had to attach a label, who would be the giver and who would be the taker? What would you say?
The man is the giver.
The man is the giver, the woman's the taker. She's the receiver, correct? In Torah, the giver is always the midah of chesed. And the receiver, compared to the giver, is considered to be the midah of din. Chesed and din. So a woman is more associated with din because she's on the receiving end. That's the way Hashem made it. That a man's supposed to provide for a woman. That's his job. So he is automatically more of a giver. He's more of a midah of chesed. And she automatically, by birth, she doesn't have to do anything about it. She's the receiver. So a woman is more so than women did. So therefore, the hair on a woman would be a greater midas hadin than the hair on a man. Oh, very good. Yaakov Meir. What about the zakan? What about the hair here? In the Torah it says, "V'hadarta panei zaken." You have to give kavod to the panei zaken. What zaken? Then a person who has a zakan, who has a beard, the hair on the face has kedusha. The hair on the head is kedusha, but the hair on the head is din, and this has kedusha. So the energies in the body, when they are positive, they go downward from the top into the beard, into the rest of the body. But the negative energies, the midas hadin, go into the hair. And that's why a Kohen Gadol had to be very. Kohen Gadol took a haircut every single day. Every single day, Kohen Gadol had to trim his hair. And you'll notice also, if you go into certain circles of Hasidim, the men are all bald. The men are all bald. All they live is have his payas on the side. That's all. But the heads, they shave their heads completely. And you want to know something? In some Hasidic circles, the women also shave their heads.
Yes.
They shave their heads.
Yeah.
They have their head covered with a tichel or they put on a wig or something, but they shave their hair. This is all based on this whole idea of the hair having the midas hadin. And you want to keep away the midas hadin as much as possible, because the midas hadin attaches itself to the hair. Therefore, we shave the head to keep midas hadin away as much as possible. It looks, like if you look at the world, oh, look at that fellow. What a pity. What a achmanis on him. Look how he looks. The payers and a bald head. He has such a nice head of hair he could have. And look what he looks like. This is all the perception of a goy. They have no idea of what midas hadin is, midas harachamim. These things that not in their mind at all. We're a nation completely separate from everybody else. We're an Amskula, I'm a Mitzvah. We have a different way of looking at the world. Everything is different. All right, look. It's going to go on a little bit more, but we'll end over here. Next week we'll come back to this and we'll pick up from the union of the hair again. And let's hope. Please, I ask you. I brought you the paper. Keep it with you when you count Speros Omer at night. We say the Hayom and the word Omer. Have in mind to sweeten the din. You're doing a big toiva for yourself, for Am Yisrael too.
Thank you.